is dispensed with. Senator from Eastern Fairfax, Senator Surovell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill pass. And speaking to that motion.
Thanks, Senator. You have the floor.
Finally. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think the bill, you all know what's in front of you now. I just want to say a couple reasons why we need to do this. Number one, the Commonwealth Institute did an analysis of this legislation a little while ago, and they found that I believe there's between 124,000 and 160,000 people who will be benefited by this legislation. They estimate the additional revenue of the Department of Motor Vehicles is between about $11 million and close to $18 million a year, and that's solely from the vehicle titling fees, the driver's license fees, and stuff like that. That does not include the additional auto insurance premiums, taxes people will pay once they license or title their cars in Virginia, which right now a lot of people title their cars out of state because of this. It's also not going to, it doesn't pick up any of the additional income taxes that are going to be filed, because in order to get this privilege card, you have to file a tax return, and so that's not included in this at all. Second thing, in all the other states that have adopted this, they've seen a decline in collisions as people learn the rules of the road. They take the driving test, and they learn what the highway signs and the markings mean. In addition, in other states that have adopted this, hit and runs go way down, because once somebody has, once they have a credential, they're much more likely to stop and identify themselves, which also helps keep people's insurance down. Number three, more people are going to pay into the insurance pool, which lowers insurance premiums for everybody. The next thing I would point out is that the experience in other states has been that when people have privilege cards, when they have legal government identification, they're much more likely to interact with law enforcement. When a criminal situation happens, they're more likely to identify themselves as a witness. They're more likely to call if there's a domestic assault. They're just more likely to engage with law enforcement because they don't have to worry about being queried about all this stuff. The last thing I will say, this has been done now in, I believe, 17 other states, either full license or a privilege card. States like Maryland, D.C., Delaware, Utah, New Mexico, Nevada, Colorado, Connecticut, Illinois, Vermont, New York. It's been done in a lot of other states because this is a critical quality of life issue. People need to be able to drive to get to a job, to get to the doctor, take their kid to soccer. It's an absolute necessity. And this is one of the few bills you're going to vote this session, which is going to change over 100,000 people's lives instantly the moment that it becomes law. Again, Mr. President, I think this is critical legislation for 130 to 200,000 plus Virginians. I hope we can pass it today.
Thank the Senator. Do any other senators wish to be heard regarding Senate Bill 34? Seeing none, the question is, shall Senate Bill 34 pass? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 22, noes 18.
Ayes 22, noes 18. Senate Bill 34 passes.